Hello, and today we've got Hearts women's manager Kevin Murphy. Hiya, Kevin. How are you today?
I'm keeping well, Angus. Thank you. I'm enjoying the sunshine. I hope you are too.
Yep. So, Kevin, what is your first memory of being a of football?
God, you're going back a little bit now for me, Angus. But I think for me, how I got started in football was by mistake. My dad used to take me to karate lessons in a local sports club. Must have been about 6 or 7 years of age. And just remembering, once the karate finished, this football was starting, and I was more interested in the football than I was the karate. So I think after a few weeks, my dad realised that and took me to football. So that was my first footballing memory, and played and been involved ever since.
And what's your best memory of playing football?
Yeah, I think when you say best memory, I think you always automatically assume when you win things. And I was never a great footballer. A lot of people that listen to this and know me will agree with that. But you would normally just say that when you've won, I was fortunate enough at local level to win leagues and cups and stuff like that with teams that I played in. I don't know if that was my best memory. I think really the best memory of football, and it sounds a little bit cheesy, but the best memory was just making new friends, being part of a bigger thing. And I suppose my best memory of football is that it's gave me an opportunity now to work full time in football. Obviously had a very poor playing career. I gave up fairly early on in my early 20s and decided to focus on coaching more. So I think without those football memories, I wouldn't have been allowed to get to where I am just now in terms of coaching. So I know that's a little bit of a long answer, but that's probably my best memory, that football's gave me an opportunity to make a living and to do something that I love. I love doing.
You mentioned coaching there. When was the first time you realised you wanted to become a coach?
Yeah, I was 16 at the time. I think I was in fifth year at school, and we had a leadership course where people would come in, external people would come in, and we had two guys from the Scottish FA coming in delivering our early touches course at the time. And I just remember it opened my eyes. Although I'd played football, as I said, since I was 6 or 7, I never thought it from a coaching perspective. So I really enjoyed that. So I went on that kind of ladder at 16, did a couple of coaching courses, did a lot of voluntary work, and really just fell in love with it. And that's why I made the decision at early 20s to give up my playing career in terms of amateur football, because I wanted to focus more time and effort into coaching. So yeah, so I did it at 16. That was my first eureka moment, and really since then I've really enjoyed the process of coaching and try to help people out.
And what's been your best experience of coaching?
I think again, it's probably hard just to say one thing, but I think my best experience of coaching is just having the ability to work with so many different people, different coaches at different clubs, and having also hopefully try to make a positive impact in people. And I don't think people that work in football should ever forget that you're here to make a massive impact and difference into these young kids' lives. And sometimes in football we lose sight of that, and we just think about the scoreline, or can they get better at football. But like I've said to you, that the memories that football give you last a lifetime. So I think it's really important for us in our coaching journey, people involved in coaching, that we make sure that when you talk to these other people that we've coached in 10 years' time, that they say they've got great football memories from the time that you've spent with them. So I think for me, the kind of best coaching memory is just actually helping others enjoy the sport, hopefully develop at the same time, but ultimately creating memories for them. I think for me, that's the most enjoyable part of what we do.
You won an FA Cup at Man City. Was that your best achievement of coaching?
Yeah, it wasn't me doing all the hard work, Angus. I was very fortunate that I was a technical director and we oversaw the program. So it was down to good coaches, certainly down to good players and people dedicated to doing it. But yeah, at Man City it was special because although they had a really successful women's team, they didn't necessarily have a fully functioning academy. So we were very fortunate that at Man City in my first year, or sorry, getting into the second season, we actually, we won the double and our development team, which is the reserves, and we won the FA Cup with under 16s, which was the first time the club had won any of those honours. So that was a really great achievement. But as I said to you before, it's not just about the medals, it's about the journeys that people create. And for me, I get great satisfaction now looking at players that have now went on and had professional contracts, not just at Man City, but in other clubs too. So for me, that's been my biggest achievement for sure.
What's the worst boots you've had to wear?
The worst boots. I can't really remember that far, but I think for me, I was always an Adidas man. So my first real memory of boots actually, and it wasn't maybe the worst boots, but I remember Predators came out. It must have been about '94, and I fell in love with them. I thought these were going to make me like so much better. And I remember my mum and dad spending a fortune on these boots, and I couldn't wait to get them on. And then to my disappointment, I had about 10 shots at a free kick and realised that it couldn't swerve like I thought it would do. Unknown to me, that was because you've got people like Roberto Carlos that have got ability to do it. So that was probably my memory of football boots. But yeah, I'm sure back in the day I probably had like some high-tech boots or something like that probably gave me blisters. But my best memory is of football boots was getting my Predators for the first time and thinking they were going to make me a great footballer. But I'm still waiting.
So, what's the best stadium you've coached in?
That's a good question. I suppose what automatically jumps to mind, and there's probably better examples, but one of the most memorable was at Man City. Our under 14s got invited to the Stockholm tournament. So we played over in Stockholm, so it was in Stockholm Stadium, AIK Stockholm, and it was a lovely summer's night. And in the boys' tournament, they had Barcelona play Stockholm. I think it was like under 16s, and there must have been at least, I don't know, 3, 4, 5,000 people in this stadium. And then the girls were playing Stockholm next. And I just thought, being in girls' football, the interest is not there as much as it is in the men's. And I thought this stadium was going to empty as soon as we start to play. But it didn't. If anything, it got increased. And again, that probably tells you a little bit about where Sweden are as a nation. But what an incredible experience to be involved with a packed stadium of, up to 4,000 people. And yeah, it was a great experience for the players. You talk about moments, and that was a great moment for those players that they'll never forget. So that's the one that probably jumps out in terms of the most memorable stadium. Obviously, been lucky that Hearts women have played at Tynecastle. Being a Hearts fan, but I wasn't in charge then. Andy, in the last game of the season, he managed to get the team over the line to get promotion. So I was at that game, but I wasn't there as a kind of head coach. But those moments are special as well. Getting to play at Tynecastle. And growing up as a Hearts fan and going and watching the men's team, to then go and see a women's team that you're involved in playing is pretty special.
So you're at Hearts now. What's the best bit about coaching Hearts women's?
For me, it's about, on this journey, that the club at the start of this year have took the women's team in-house, so we're fully integrated now alongside the men's team. And I think for me, it's just been a pleasure to be part of that journey from the very start. Hearts women have been established for many years, but this is the first time that the main club have took them under their wing. So I think to be involved in that journey at the very start, for me, is the most special. And hopefully getting a team that's going to be competitive in the league. We know it's going to be difficult. You've got Celtic and Rangers that are putting significant amount of investment in. Hibs have been successful in many years. So I think for us as a club like Hearts, we should be competing up at the top of the league, whether you're male or female. And hopefully we can do that, and we can get a team that on the park that Hearts fans want to come and watch. I think that's going to be really important. And finally, Angus, just to say that I want to challenge that perception. I want people that haven't seen women's football but support Hearts to come to a women's game and go, you know what? I love watching that. I want to go back because it's entertaining. There's passion, there's enthusiasm, and there's skill in show. So for me, that's the things that drive me the most just now.
Who's the best player you've coached?
Again, a few jump out. I've been fortunate to work in the national team setup as well as an assistant national coach for many years. So I've worked with players like Claire Emsley, Caroline Weir, Lizzie Arnott, who have went on to great things in their careers. Erin Cuthbert, I coached both at Rangers when I was there, and obviously with the national team when she was a youth player. So they're the kind of homegrown players that really stick out, that have went on and done wonderful things. I think at Manchester City, I was fortunate enough to take some sessions within the first team. So you've got people like, take your pick. You've got Jill Scott or Demi Stokes, Nikita Paris, Lucy Bronze. So yeah, again, it's probably hard just to name one. But to be honest with you, I probably get more satisfaction coaching at the younger age groups and seeing them going on to do bigger and better things. So I think Erin was great because she was only 15 when she was playing on that Rangers side. And then to then go and see what she's doing in Chelsea. But then I was at the World Cup, and to watch her in the World Cup, was just special for me. And that was great to see, because I still remember her being, 14, 15 years of age playing, to then go and see her in the World Cup was special.
What's the best game you've coached in?
Probably the one that sticks out in my mind was the FA Cup one that I said. Man City 16s were playing Reading at St George's Park. Wonderful setting. As I mentioned earlier, we hadn't been in a final before. In the first half, we were terrible. Obviously, the nerves got to them. But in the second half, they settled in, and they just, our second half performance was incredible. And I'll still remember, I've actually got a picture, you can't see it, it's quite out of shot, where I've got a picture where I'm in embrace with two coaches. We've just scored the third goal in the kind of last minutes of breakaway to win the FA Cup, which was the first time in their history. So, that for me is the most memorable, because it was quite dramatic. It was a late goal, and it was a first as well. So, that one sticks in the mind.
Just a final couple of questions. What was the last Hearts game you coached before COVID?
The last game, I can't even remember that far back now. We had the Rangers game was the last league game. We'd only had one game. We played Rangers at their training stadium. We lost 3-0 that day. Rangers, to be honest with you, were a strong team, as I said, about the investment. We played well for about 70 minutes, and then we tired. And then we had the League Cup competition there, so we played against Stirling Uni and Boroughmuir. So Stirling Uni was our last game. I think I'm right in saying that, and we won both of those games. So we were a bit disappointed that it got cut short because of COVID, because we were on a winning streak and we wanted to take that into the league games. But as I said, obviously we'll just have to wait till this period's over to get back on the pitch.
And just last question: when was the last time you had to pay for a ticket to go to a football match?
Does Cammy give you that one to ask me? I don't pay for tickets, Angus. I'm too miserable. I don't like paying for tickets. It probably was at the World Cup, actually. So I was fortunate enough to go out there and scout in games, but there was obviously some games we weren't working at. So it would have been some game at the World Cup, but they were cheap. They were only like €5 or something like that. So if it was probably more expensive, I'd probably been too tight to pay.
Right, Kevin. Thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
No, my pleasure, Angus. Thank you so much, and take care.
Will do. Thank you.